Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Zachary Pierce. I am Communications and Outreach Manager for the State Retirement Board, and I welcome you to this month's monthly coffee or tea with MSRB. It is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. It is 10:01 a.m., and I hope everyone's doing well today. It's a bit of a chilly day in Boston. Definitely feels like fall is well underway as we get into the colder months as it gets darker earlier. But hopefully everyone's doing well where you are, staying warm. Before we begin, I want to go over a couple of housekeeping items. First off, I want to thank Lauren Levanchi, Communications Coordinator for the State Retirement Board, for assisting me with some of the questions and also putting in any of the links in the comments section today. If you do have any questions at any point, you can type them into the comments box. I do ask that you keep your questions general. Please do not include any personal, identifiable pieces of information such as social security numbers, dates of birth, or bank account information. Again, please keep your questions general. If you do have any personal account questions, you can always email us directly, msrbcommunications@tre.state.ma.us. That's msrbcommunications@tre.state.ma.us. So starting off with some of the notes that I have prepared, we are currently running a retirement board election. As a reminder, the Massachusetts State Retirement Board is currently conducting a regularly scheduled election. Ballots were mailed at the end of October, and we do ask that you allow 7 to 10 business days to receive your ballot. Votes must be received or ballots must be postmarked by 11:59 p.m. on November 28th, 2025. To the board's designated agent. Members have the option of voting one of 3 methods. You can vote online, by telephone, or by mail. Instructions on these different methods and your unique election code and voting PIN are available on the ballot. If you do not receive your ballot, replacement ballots and additional election customer service can be found by emailing HELP+MSRB@yeselections.com. That's HELP+MSRB@yeselections.com, or you can call 866-384-9978. Information on the candidates and instructions on voting can be found on our website, mass.gov/retirement. Under one of the top banners, you'll see an alert for the 2025-2026 Retirement Board election. We are also running a PRIM board election. Pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 32, Section 23, 2A, Lower A, the Pension Reserves Investment Management Board, or PRIM, will conduct a regularly scheduled election for the Massachusetts State Employees Retirement System representative to the PRIM board. The elected member will serve a 3-year term without compensation beginning July 1st, 2026. Nomination forms and election rules will be available beginning November 17th, 2025 through the board's website. And again, that's mass.gov/retirement. You'll see 2 yellow alerts. One is for the PRIM election, and the other is for the retirement board election. These are 2 separate elections, so just make sure you read the instructions carefully when you receive the ballots. Getting into some other notes that I have, the next pension benefit will be direct deposited on Friday, November 28th, 2025. The 2025 and 2026 pension payment calendar can be viewed on our website and downloaded directly from our website. We just recently released the 2026 pension payment calendar. So if you go to our website and scroll down a bit, you'll see the 2026 calendar as well as a PDF that you can download of it. Now, just as a reminder about our newsletters, board staff are currently working on the November MSRB Retiree e-News Bulletin as well as the active e-News Bulletin for the fall. If you're currently not subscribed but would like to be, you can submit a change of address form available on our website. Fill in your personal information at the top of the form, including your email address or your new email address, And in the spot of the form that asks for your old address or new address, you can simply mark this as NA, as you're simply updating your email address, not your mailing address. The form must be signed and dated and then can either be mailed to our office, or if you're just updating your email, you can email the form to msrb.communications@tre.state.ma.us. If you mail it to us, our mailing address is Massachusetts State Retirement Board, 1 Winter Street, 8th floor, Boston, Massachusetts, 02108. And just as a reminder, if you're filling out any of our forms, you can just make sure that they are neatly filled out. An easy-to-read form helps our staff accurately enter and update your information, avoiding potential processing delays. Please use clear and neat handwriting if you are unable to complete a form using your computer. We have drop-off hours Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Our board offices are in Boston and Springfield. Our board office in Boston is located at 1 Winter Street, Downtown Crossing. Our Springfield office is located at 436 Dwight Street, room 109A. And again, drop-off hours are Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., except on state holidays. We have several upcoming webinars that you might be interested in joining. These can be found on our website. And if you can't attend one of these upcoming webinars, we have some pre-recorded webinars available on our website for those who are unable to attend live. And speaking of our website, I'm going to get into website feedback. So before I do so, I'm just going to double check to see if I see any comments. I don't see any comments or questions in the chat, so I'm going to continue on with the website feedback. So if you go to our website, mass.gov/retirement, sometimes at the bottom of your screen you'll get a pop-up that says, do you have any feedback? And occasionally people will ask questions in this feedback. However, the feedback form doesn't have any way of pulling your personal information. So we often get these questions that we're just not able to answer directly as we don't know who asked them. So if you ever have an important question that you need to ask someone at the retirement board, you can always call our office or you can email us at msrb@tre.state.ma.us. But a couple of questions that I saw in our website feedback form recently was one person saying, I am looking for contact information to find a specific dentist or doctor. Health, dental, vision, and life insurance are administered by the Group Insurance Commission, or GIC. They are a separate state agency from the State Retirement Board. If you have any questions, you can contact GIC directly, 617-727-2310, or visit their website, mass.gov/GIC, where they have a Contact the GIC form. Here's a question. When using the pension, I believe you might be referring to the calculator. We calculate based on years of service and age. Is the age referring to when we stop working or when we start collecting our pension? So the age that you would use when using the calculator is whatever age you would be when you file for retirement. So, for example, let's say you're going to retire in 3 months and you put in your retirement application. You'll want to put in the age that you'll be at retirement. So if you're 64 now, but you're going to turn 65 by the time you reach that date, you'll want to put in that age. And when we calculate your benefit, we calculate your age as of the age you are when you retire. Going on to some other feedback that we received. Someone mentioned, I was told the Winter Street office is closed and there is a regional office in Waltham, but there's no mention of this here. Is this true? So I think this question might have actually been confusing us for the SMART plan. The SMART plan is the voluntary retirement plan that's run through Empower. So the SMART plan did recently close their Winter Street office. However, the State Retirement Board still has a Winter Street office. The Smart Plan does have a Waltham office that is still open. And if you have any questions for the Smart Plan, you can call them at 877 457 1900. That's 877 457 1900. Lastly, we had a piece of feedback from someone saying, I can't find the form to change my direct deposit. To update your direct deposit information, our form is available under our All Forms page. You might have to scroll down a bit, but it's called the Direct Deposit Change Form. Just download the form, fill it out, and mail it to us, and we'll update your account on record. The form can be found directly on our website, and we also have a dedicated page that goes over changing your direct deposit, changing your tax withholding, or changing your address, and that has links to the forms there. Here. Okay, great. So if I retire at 55 but wait to start collecting until 65, the age I'm thinking of the pension chart shows the years of access, we arrive at the pension amount based on 65. That's correct. So if you were to leave state service, so you stop working at 55, but you don't file for retirement until you turn 65, we will calculate your benefit at 65. That would be deferring your retirement. And that is something that some people choose to do. So you wouldn't necessarily be retiring when you leave service at 55. You would be leaving service. But when you file for actual retirement, filling out the superannuation form, and you submit that when you turn 65, we'll calculate at that higher age factor. I hope that better explains it. But if for some reason I'm not clear, you can always reach out to me at msrbcommunications@tre.state.ma.us, and I'll be happy to provide some examples. Getting into some upcoming holiday information. So board offices will be closed on Tuesday, November 11th, 2025 for Veterans Day. Regular business hours will resume on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Board offices will be closed on Thursday, November 27th, 2025 for Thanksgiving, and regular business hours will resume on Friday, November 28th, 2025. Our next monthly coffee or tea will be on Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025, which will be the last one of 2025. I can't believe the year has gone by so quickly. But I hope everyone has a good upcoming holiday season. I hope everyone has a relaxing Thanksgiving if you celebrate. If you do have any additional questions, you can always reach out to us. Oh, I do see a question that just popped in. Is there a COLA, costing of living adjustment, over time, or does the pension amount remain fixed across the years? So there can be a COLA. The COLA is a legislative item that's usually included in the fiscal year budget process set by the governor and then by the legislatures. Historically, the COLA has been included in that. However, it is set by the governor and the legislature. So they may, or we always say they may or may not include a COLA. Historically, they have done so. And historically, it's been 3% on the first $13,000 of the pension. It's changed over the years. Was one time during COVID where it was 5%, but consistently it's been 3%. So if you have any questions about that amount or the base, you'll want to reach out to your local legislator or the governor's constituency services office and let them know any of your opinions or any questions that you have. Are you going to talk about the PRIM election? Hi, Robert. So I actually did mention it early on. It was one of the first items, so you might have missed it. But we are doing the PRIM election. We have some information available on our website, which Lauren posted a link to earlier. And if you have any questions about the PRIM election, we have some information there. Nomination forms and election rules for the PRIM election will be available November 17th, 2025. So once that date has passed, there'll be additional information on our website. Another question, if I retire before I'm old enough to be on Medicare, can I go on GIC as my primary insurance? And is this different if I leave service years before I file for retirement? That is a great question. Unfortunately, I'm not the best person to answer that question. GIC is a separate state agency, so you might want to reach out to them to verify. Their telephone number is 617-727-2310. My understanding is if you do retire before you are eligible for Medicare, GIC will act as your primary insurance, while if you are receiving a pension. However, again, my understanding is that when you become eligible for Medicare, if you are eligible to receive it, then Medicare would become your primary. Again, I would recommend reaching out to GIC just to verify with them. They do have a Medicare video, and let me see if I can find that real quick. It's on their website. Here it is. So I'm just going to drop this link in the chat, Kristen. Hopefully this helps. And I definitely recommend checking out this webpage. And if you have additional questions, to reach out to GIC directly. Excellent. Yeah, they're a great resource to reach out to if you have questions directly about health insurance and retirement or as an active member. Unfortunately, because they are a separate state agency, we're not able to speak on their specific rules. But closing off today's session, I want to thank everyone for joining us. I really appreciate everyone for joining us, and thank you again for these questions, for the comments. If anyone has additional questions, you can always email us at msrbcommunications@tre.state.ma.us. That's msrbcommunications@tre.state.ma.us. Thank you again. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Take care and stay well.